Good afternoon everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well and gearing up for the good old Christmas day, which is only a few days away in fact, so I hope you've had a really good start of the month. 2025 pretty quickly actually, it's been it's a very exciting couple of years in the sim, and we've obviously now got the brand new sim and still the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, lots of different products being released still for the sim. So today we're having a look at the brand new FSLABS A320 released recently for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. We're replicating a real-world route from BA Euroflyer, which is typically operated in daytime, hence the kind of daylight hours that we've set the sim to at the moment. We're mimicking the service from I think yesterday or the day before, where it departed around 2:20 PM. Here at Gatwick for a flight to Palma de Mallorca, which is very exciting. About 2 hours block time, thereabouts. And we'll be checking out this new aircraft, which is priced around $69.95 US plus VAT. So we'll be chatting about it, having a little look. We will be able to draw comparisons with what we've already got available, and trying to dive into the systems as much as possible as we can in a short period of time, 2 and a bit hours prior to Christmas. So things like the VDGS over there, the timing there will be off slightly because I set that to Zulu time. And it's weird being back in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, to be fair. Having recently been in 2024, I get all the keybinds all confused. So you'll have to bear with us today. If you're new to the channel, it's great to see you. Hit like, hit subscribe, and join us in the live chat as well. We've got Badger, welcome matey, thanks for the meta there in the live chat, appreciate it. You guys can all see the weather now there. Liam, MPS Gaming, good evening to you guys. H and Dino as well, welcome. Rab in Scotland, very wild central Scotland, he says. Good evening to you, buddy. Canadian Flight Simmer, good morning. Well, good afternoon actually for you, just about, I think. Yep, Ashley as well, evening mate. And we've got Nighthawk, a few others in the live chat there. Tapsy, one of our livery artists for Osprey Airways, our virtual airline. Hello to you, buddy. Good to see you in the chat there. UC, good evening. And we're going to have a little look, dive into what this has to offer. If you do fancy it, then the link for this is in the description for today's live stream as well. So you'll be able to kind of check it out, make your own decisions as well. I'm, as always, going to be completely unbiased and brutally honest, and I'll just share my thoughts with you guys. But I'm curious throughout the journey today to hear yours as well. One of the things that is a bit of a standout straight away from what I've experienced is a really impressive integration with GSX. So at the minute we've got boarding and everything all controlled, and I'll show you the MCDU currently in action at the moment, and we've got GSX passengers being boarded at the moment. And the reason why I'm showing you from the outside will make sense in a little moment, but you can just about see them. Lots of different liveries included as well with this add-on, which is really nice. Inside the operations center, not the operations center, like the FSLABS control center, there's loads of liveries. There's Sharklet versions, IAE, CFM engine options, and there's of course the wingtip fence version that we're in today as well. Quite a lot of British Airways liveries, which is superb. Done in actually a really nice level of detail, I think, as you guys can see here. Look at that. Just gently rotating in the brisk bit of breeze. MPS Gaming, buddy, welcome. Remember, 30 months, crikey. Appreciate all of the support there. Merry Christmas to you and a Happy New Year as well. Thank you, mate. And Rab, 1 month to go for 2 amazing years on the channel, he says. Badger as well for 30 months. Joined roughly the same time as MPS as well. Merry Christmas to you, buddy. So they've done a lot of kind of work with this, and this is going to be a genuine first flight in this. I've tinkered around with it, checked the keybinds as best as I can, had a little look at various settings, set up a couple of custom wing views for today as well. But it's a full-on little exploration of this aircraft. So I hope you all enjoy it. Waraba, good evening. We've got the old hydraulic droop as well, simulated here. There's a whole plethora of failures and everything, and like service-based failures. So the more you fly this aircraft, the more worn out it gets, the more it requires a bit of maintenance as well. So they've kind of configured a fairly realistic simulation of the aircraft being used day to day, which is quite nice. So that's all the good stuff from the outside as we chat around it and have a little look. Looks pretty good, right? And then we join the flight deck. If I just go to this view here, look at this, very nice. So, you know, its biggest competitor is the Phoenix A320 series as well, A321, so on and so forth. It's got a couple of nice little animations to get those armrests out of the way, which is super important. And again, the oxygen masks and the little cubby holes can be lifted up there, so you can do your oxygen tests as well if you wish. I haven't tried things like the window, so I don't know if they are going to work. Don't think they do. Certainly can't see anything that suggests they do. And there's the first glimpse of the tablet. We'll look at that as well. There's a whole load of documentation, checklists, mass balance, landing and performance calculations for takeoff as well. Then you've got your maintenance pages, the tech log, which we'll just have a quick look at. It allows you to have a look at some of the deferred defects that are in the tech log as well. So you could say, well, it expires in 9 days, then it needs to be fixed. A couple of little bits there as well, like the ignition Bravo fault, for example, and the lav seat. Found in poor condition, level 2. So you get to look at all of that kind of stuff, and you can reset it if you want as well. It's quite clever because the aircraft actually kind of remembers the state that it was in previously. And there's our current loading as well for today's sector. So the aircraft is pretty much kind of alive in the simulator, which is pretty snazzy. A couple of things with the Phoenix is, you know, you got these little bits here. You can move the chair back and forward, and the animation for this in the Phoenix is actually quite nice because you click it and then it folds out, slides about. Instead, what you get on this is this kind of left to right slidey thing, and then it's kind of a click and drag kind of job. Now, if I'm being honest, that doesn't really bother me because we don't really, in the flight sim world, look at the back and go, oh, you know, well, let's drop the old jump seat. I wish that was animated smoothly. it's not an issue for me. So if that means that it's a little bit better on performance, happy days. Click and drag for the window, Ray says. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Thank you, Matey. This is where we find out now that we can't close it because of the choice of animation, instead of it just being a click. I assume we've got to do that, and then it should. Lovely! Ooh, almost. Happy days. Okay, pretty good. And we'll look at the EFB a bit more in the future. It's got your tray table as well when you're peckish, which is pretty cool. And I've not experienced FSLABS before, so I know they've had a lot of history in P3D, I think, isn't it? That's where most people know them from. And this is their first product for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm already quite impressed with the MCDU because when you dive into it for the first time and you connect it all up, there's actually a lot of kind of connections to this. So we can just click that to bring our departure ATIS in. And you can load in your pre-flight stuff within here as well, so you can put in your crew details if you want to, so you can put your own unique captain identifier, and you can fill out the rest of the crew as well if you wish, which is quite nice for that personal touch. So there's a lot of kind of configurable options in here, and your OFP data as well allows you to press send. So I fiddled with this earlier as a bit of a test. You pressed send, and what it does is it takes your OFP. And because I've got it selected to refuel via GSX, what it then does is basically triggers the GSX functionality in the aircraft, gets all that sent off, and then you get the refuel truck turn up and do their thing, and it's now loaded 8,600 kilos of fuel, which is what we had for our block today as well. So that when I talk about the very, very smooth intertwined kind of link between GSX and this aircraft, it is really quite nice. And you've got your ACAS as well, so you can link in your Hoppies account and all that sort of stuff. Performance request is something new. We're not going to have intersection or anti-ice. No wet. Packs will be... Oh, packs off should be no, surely. We'll fiddle around with that in a little. What's the old meta? Let's have a little look. See what it does. It's a bit of an experiment today. 260 at 16. Temperature is lovely 10 degrees. UNH 1008.
Easy 18 Papa Yankee taxis. Juliet Romeo hold short Lima.
And it's going to be
taxi Juliet Romeo hold short Lima. Expect stand 560. Easy 18 Papa Yankee.
On the second page.
Gatwick ground DC 53 Yankee for Bravo 1839 Palma.
And then we've got like the fueling loads as well, so you can fiddle around in different ways of adding in the aircraft and things like that. What I've done for boarding with GSX again is I've triggered it to ask for the boarding like so, and it's then triggered that GSX integration again. So you can choose instant, you can begin at set time, so you can open the gate at a certain time as well, for example. And then for de-icing and pushback, you've got an option there in the departure menu, which is something quite nice too. And then when you do get your ATIS, you can have a little look, like so, into your received messages. We've got ATIS uniform. That QNH was 1008, wasn't it? Let's see. So 775 for transition, that's fine. Yeah, that's all that pretty much done. There's a lot to be fair to dive into. You can do your your PDCs and things in this as well. But I'll go old school today because it's been a little while, and I do feel rusty in the sim when it's not been a little while, when I've not been flying as much as usual, to be fair. And then we've got the sim brief integration as well. So we've pulled the route in, lined the IRS, and you've got this wind request as well, which it brings in from your sim brief OFP and links into the aircraft, which again is really nice to see. We'll do the performance page and things as well shortly.
Taxi
but I'll be curious to see what this uplink takeoff data thing means. We've got a departure set in here as well, up to Bognor 1 X-ray. We can set 6 on the FCU there, and then we'll just have a quick look at this. So the tablet to me seems like it's basically just a web browser that's mounted into like this little kind of tablet design, which is good in a way, clunky in another, I suppose. You've got your OFP, so you can bring in your Simbury flight plan, and you've got all of these different tabs on the left, so you can have a little look and go, okay, well, what's my flight plan? There it is. There's the takeoff data, the runway analysis, ICO flight plan, and it snaps to where you want it to be. So instead of you having to click and drag, you can then click a few relevant bits and take the information that you want. The takeoff performance calculations, you can load it all in like so. And then you can calculate, first time ever trying this by the way, to see what this is doing. How's the performance compared to Phoenix? It's a bit difficult for me to assess, to be honest with you. I've got my sim locked at 60 frames per second, and it is literally hugging that at the moment. I'm just having a quick look at the frames per second counter on my Xbox overlay thing. VRAM 70%, and yeah, frames per second 60, and that hasn't moved. That's pretty solid actually, which is quite cool. That's not doing very much. So let's have a quick look here. It's going to be probably Alpha for lineup, isn't it? So 26 left, Alpha 1.
Over the tower, see ya.
There we go. Okay, I needed to select a runway intersection there. Right, okay, and there's your performance calculations. Rotate 158, for example, as well. So let's just get the clearance. One thing I wanted to do is show you this as well. If I press pause and unlock the flight deck door, I've installed the British Airways cabin pack from the operations centre. And you can hear talking in the background. I'm not sure if it will come out on your stream when you're watching it at home. Do let me know in the chat. But before boarding, there's the cabin chime. Before boarding, I noticed that the BA boarding music was being played out as well, which was quite nice. You can't open the flight deck to go and have a little look, and unfortunately, you know when I mentioned about showing you guys the wing views that I set up earlier on, this is one of the big sticklers for me, in a way. So you can see all the passengers from the outside and a cabin from the outside as well. Actually, it's just bump on in, because it's easier to do this on the ground, isn't it, than in the air. So we can basically just go plop into the cabin and have a little look. Good old GSX's Roblox people. Have we got the no smoking signs on? There's ambience in here, which is quite nice. But you can see the cabin isn't really kind of animated in any way, shape or form from this kind of drone camera view. And then if we go to, if I just bump on out with the drone camera, we go back into the flight deck. By the way, this does work as well, before anybody asks. And we go to the cabin views that I've set up. I've set this one up. And these are the ones that we are limited to today, right? We got, what have we got? 3. No, we got 4. 5. I've set 7. And I've set 8. Because, I don't know if you've got a little nudge of that, but mega LOD kind of saving going on here when you've got the wing views. So I set up a wing view thinking, oh, you know what, it's always nice seeing the engine in action. But yeah, that's the wing view from here. So for that reason, the wing views that we've got for today, 4 and 5, 7 and 8. And I think for $70, that's a little bit of an ask, without a kind of a cabin inside or anything like that. So that's what you have in quote-unquote cockpit view. So you can set up your wing views like we've done here today. And actually, you know, the wing views that we've got are quite nice. But where's the rest of it? That's kind of what screams out to me the most. Yeah, it's a bit of a strange contrast to what I expected. Right, where were we? We were going to get our clearance, weren't we? 121 705. No, 121 805. That's ground. Yeah, obviously with the Phoenix Simulations A321, we've got that beautiful cabin included. You've got the actionable flight deck door. You can walk through the aircraft. The lights and signs, the seatbelt signs, everything will work as well. So there's a big difference there between the two products, isn't there? Go ground, good evening, Griffin 34 Romeo, stands 17 with uniform Airbus A321. QNH 1008, request clearance to Palma de Mallorca, please.
Griffin 34 Romeo, Garrett Ground, hello, clear to Palma, Bogner 1 X-ray, squawk 4766.
Clear Palma, Bogner 1 X-ray, squawk 4766, Griffin 34 Romeo.
Griffin 34 Romeo, read back.
4766. One of the things that I've heard people say is actually with the FSLABS side of things, yeah, the system depth, the simulation here in the business end, that's where it matters. So you hear kind of contrasting things between what people like. What have we got there? So yeah, we're good to that. We can uplink takeoff data. Bam. So that's quite good. We've got the local QNH with 200 foot AGL above mean sea level, and then we've got the
requesting clearance to Munich. We are in 737-600.
We've got the approach page for later as well. So init 1, init B, that feeds in quite nicely as well. 8.6. So we'll just go with 8.1. That'll be fine. So init A and
ground,
B.
just to confirm this correct, is
Performance page is done. Flight plan page is done.
347 negative, squawk 75.
I think we're there, folks. That's already there. So what is it? V1 153 to 58. We rotate at 58.
We are clear to
No, that's
Munich
flex.
via Minfo 1
Departure.
Mike departure.
With the A-class, you can go into here and you actually do your PDCs and stuff in your pre-flight.
347, read back correct.
So you can click through elements of this. And it's going to take a little bit of getting used to because it's so different to what we're already used to with various other add-ons, the way that they're configured. But it's nice that we've got these different options. And the maintenance tabs, which I'll fiddle around with on the ground, you can refill your engine oil, clean the cockpit windows as well, because the environment around the aircraft is simulated. They get dirty as well potentially. And for what it's worth, before we go anywhere, all of these are poppable and simulated circuit breaker systems. So there's a whole lot of complexity in this aircraft that isn't available in the Phoenix in that sense as well. So again, pros and cons across all the options. But I'm always interested to hear what you guys think as you watch along. Navigraph integration. Did connect it the other day. Brilliant. I connected it yesterday. Hey ho. Just sorting that out again. And that should feed in. There we go. So you can add your departure in. Oops. E-G-K. Okay. Try LGW. Import, there we go. Such a rookie. I was out all night last night. I say all night. I was out at work Christmas do. So I've got a little bit of a heavy head today as well. Very little sleep as well. So there's the old charts that you can click around and have a little look at if you wish, and you can pin them on the right hand side. You've got that pin option there to see the ones that you've really focused on. And with that we will have a little look at Bognor 1 X-ray. Okay, so that's our departure for today, folks. Runway heading 257 degrees up to 5,000 feet roughly, max 220 knots, then turning south towards the coast, just to the right, the west of Shoreham, before heading over the channel. Bognor at 6,000, and then we're away, basically. And that's what there is really to kind of see with it. You've got the massive failures system here. Lights have got one active failure. Don't know what that is. Turn light right. And engines one active. Ignition B, and that's the deferred in the tech log. So there's that deeper system depth there as well to bear in mind. And you can see there the runway turn-off lights, because they're broken. We've got an in-op sticker there. So we click it. It's all well and good because it won't do much. Where are we? External power. Let's get the APU on. Let's pause this and we'll have a little listen outside, shall we? Let's go here. There's the SOV valve. Hopefully you can hear this nicely. It's a good question, Liam. I don't know if the rain repellent works. I mean, that sounds bloody brilliant, actually, to be fair. That's a really nice soundscape for the APU, I think. A little bit further away. Yeah, you know what? That's not bad. APU's available. So we got no white lights, that's all good. We flicked the evac alarm over to captain and purser, so the cabin managers and the crew in the back have got the ability to command an evacuation if needed. We're going to plop the beacon on, and we're going to trigger GSX. GSX is under remote control, menu will now close. Now, the reason for that...
donated 200 Danish kroner through Super Chat. It's not for GMT. Enjoy the holiday.
Mikhail, thank you, buddy. Very generous of you, thank you very much. Activate services at gate 17. So, the GSX integration goes a little bit further with this because it's all in here. So you don't have to bring up the wheel and trigger GSX and all that sort of stuff. You can just click all of the different tabs like so, if you want to. Get rid of the GPU. Parking brake is set, so we can clear the chocks. Services. Prepare for pushback and departure. So that's now all kind of clunking in and getting into gear.
Look. Just saw your PDCF center reply.
Oh, fantastic, we'll get that in a minute. 25 working.
Here comes the dispatcher. So they're going to do their thing. I think that is everything. 1008, that's all good. Yeah, flight plan's set. Doors are closed, we've got green indications across there. What have we got in the chat? Matthew says, what's the difference between a green circuit breaker and a black circuit breaker? BA Boy said green CBs are usually related to monitored systems, so if one trips it will pop up on an ECAM message. Black, if it trips, you normally won't get an ECAM indication. That's pretty interesting to know. Good bit of knowledge from you there, matey. We go flight plan page on that side. Right, Tim, yeah, so we mentioned that a little earlier on. We brushed upon it when we were chatting about other bits. I'll have to remind myself on how to find it now. No, it's not in there, is it? Yeah, but you can directly control GSX in here.
Easy 36 Echo Tango Gatwick Ground. Hello, Radar 5.
Can't remember where it was now. There you go. Yep, pushback.
Roger, easy 36.
So you can control it all in there as well.
That's 565 and A319. Request clearance to
Easy.
And then there you go. You got all the different options. It's going to be face west. We know that. We'll leave that unlocked because I'm curious to hear what we get sound-wise through the door there as well. Luke, describe how it works in P3D, mate, and then I'll try and replicate it.
Easy 36 Echo Tango Rebecca correct. Break easy 32 Quebec Yankee. Continue taxi holding point Alpha to runway 26 left by Alpha.
2423.
Continue taxi holding point Alpha 2 for runway 26 left via Alpha Sierra. Easy 32 Quebec Yankee. Tomjet 347 request push and start.
Tomjet 347 stand 561 push and start approved face down.
Press nod PA.
Face up, push and start.
On the comms
panel.
panel.
Tomjet 347. Gatwick ground, KLM 1942, requesting IFR to Palma de Mallorca, A321 near at gate 25.
Hopefully you can hear that, folks.
KLM 1942 Gatwick ground, hello, cleared to Palma, Bogner 1 X-ray.
Right, anyway, we'll ignore that. We're going to push and start.
Cleared to Palma.
Yeah, Matthew, I'd be very curious to hear your thoughts, mate, since you drive these for a living.
KLM.
I'll try not to cock it up.
Kilo 1942, sorry, just confirm the SID, Wagner 1 X-ray.
It's not particularly busy, is it, MPS
Yes,
at Gatwick? But there is a lot of traffic, a lot of chat.
1942.
Kilo 1942, stand by, break easy, 32 Quebec Yankee, contact
Down
tower
face west.
bye-bye.
I'm going to click that because that's, I know is going to be the case.
Have a good night.
Ground, Griffin 3-4 Romeo stands 17, fully ready, request push start.
Griffin 3-4 Romeo, stand 17, push and start approved, face west.
Push start approved, face west, Griffin 3-4 Romeo, thanks.
Butt
Butt brake off. Let's go, folks.
Go Echo, stand 20, push and start approved. Stand 22, push and start.
So for the very first time in the
push.
FSLABS A321. Mission mode starts. We've got IAEs for today's engine option, folks.
Oscar, Golf, November, Alpha 1 X-ray.
Engine 2, run.
My apologies, I misheard you.
Any other packs?
Bogan 1 X-ray departure, KLM 1942.
KLM 1940, thank you, read back correct.
Griffin 298, ready for push and start.
Griffin 298, stand 24, push and start approved, straight
I will
push,
monitor
caution,
this because it's interesting to see what it all
EasyJet
does.
A320 is pushing back also to your right.
Straight push and caution, traffic to my right, Griffin 298.
Your seat area before we depart.
Safety demo going on there. N2 zone, you're just getting to 14.
Request push and start. Easy 36 Echo Tango, stand 565, push and start approved, face out. 565.
Butt brake set. And that's engine 1 available. Engine 2 start. Watch it from the outside this time. Oh, that sounds great. Try not to try not to stare at the spinner too much. Oh, I feel like I'm getting hypnotised. That's a little stutter there was my frame generation, by the way, clicking out my screen back in. Check. We've got engine start faults, auto crank in progress. And that's that engine 1 ignition B faults. So it's already got kind of a failure started with it, so it's doing this auto crank.
69 Whiskey Juliet, Scout Drive, hello, and 48 right via Juliet, Papa.
That's referred to the old manual, you know.
48 right via Juliet, Papa and Lima, easy 6 Mana Whiskey Juliet.
We could go to the tech log. And we could just, what is it? It's a non-performance issue, so we could reset the tech log.
Easy 45 Tango, Echo Edge taxi.
See what it does.
Easy 45 Tango, Echo right turn Juliet, Mike, holding point Mike 1 Roman 26 left. Right turn Juliet, make
Where's the old checklist? Anyway, that's gone now, N2's off, so we'll turn
Tom Jet H347.
engine master 1 off.
Requesting taxi.
That's the normal checklist. That doesn't do us any favour. So if we go to the Documents tab now, we can have a little look at this. For example, we've got lots of different checklists. Technical data as well. If you want to dive into it, there's loads of information, which is pretty cool. Right.
New taxi instructions. Taxi Romeo, hold shot Lima.
We'll go engine start 1 again. This is where now Matthew's going to share tons of knowledge.
Hi, it's Hannah. That's the cabin secure for takeoff.
That's rather quick. Thanks, Hannah.
Easy 36 Echo Tango request taxi.
Easy 36 Echo Tango taxi.
This is where the
Lima Papa hold shot
thing will get us. Ignition. What do we got here? Can we hide this? This is all fiddling around live, by the way, to work it all out. Engine A or B fault.
Echo, contact tower 124.230. Bye-bye.
It's that button there to hide the menu, I think, isn't it? Be that one there. Okay, 1 displayed, up to 3 displayed. Ignition A. Engine ignition system B. Repair interval C. MBR installed 2. One or both may be an operative. Refer to ops proc ignition system B. 7431-2. Where's it gone? I'm having a right man.
Gatwick Grand Orange 83 kilos on Juliet, request taxi please. Orange
It's going to be that one, isn't it?
kilo Gatwick Grand. Hello, taxi Romeo, hold short. Lima expect stand.
Okay, so manual start on ground. If FedEx selects ignition system B during automatic start, the engine fails to start. The alert related to the failure of.
Right, Orange 83 kilo.
Just hide that so you can see it better. And zoom it more.
Continue taxi holding
Maximize probability to start the engine first attempt. This ignition system A must be selected by the FADEC. Perform what are the following engine starts? Before engine starts, engine ignition 1, 2,
continue to Alpha
circuit
3
breaker
Alpha
control.
November,
After
runway
engine
26
starts, we
contact
push it back in again. That's an automatic engine start. Manual starts refer to the procedures manual engine section for manual engine start procedure. So we've got to go to procedures manual, engine section for manual engine.
Let's continue taxi stand
Start.
48 right.
Continue taxi to stand forward, right, easy. If you can always do it.
It's not going to be in here either, is it? Where the chaffinack is it?
Gatwick Ground, KLM 1942 requesting push and start from gate.
KLM 1942 stand 25, push and start approved, face west.
Push and start approved, face west, KLM 1942.
Can't get into that one. I think the manual starts anyway. It's going to be involving these buttons here.
Easy 36 Echo Tango, continue taxi.
I think I've got to turn that off again, don't I?
Fire Alpha November.
Alpha 3 via Alpha November.
It's that button there. It's a slight different keybind selection. Where is it gone? Supplementary procedures. God, bloody scroll. Manual engine start, right there. There we go. Right, so continued. Here we go. During a manual engine start, the flight crew suspects engine swap for malfunction. Blah blah blah. Thrust levers are on idle. We've aborted the start anyway, albeit slowly.
Jet 347, contact tower 124.2.
Engine mode selected as normal, then ignition start.
124.235, is that correct? 247.
Palm 347 negative, 124.230.
Both engines start manually, followed by engine
target
parameters are available on the upper ECAM display. Now across is displayed, engine mark, manual start, push button switch on, which is that one. And then we're going to go to, oh, it's the old scroll wheel again. Let me just walk across a bit more. And then start valve, check in line, which is, oops, that bugger in it. Next page. N2 increase, check all pressure increase. If N2 does not reach 16 pack valves, check closed. N2's 27 there. And that's shedding various bits there as well. When N2 reaches a maximum motoring speed, minimum 16%, 30 seconds after selection of the engine, manual start, push button switch, engine master on, chrono start. This is great, isn't it? Because we're kind of doing it, but at the same time we're doing it whilst reading it, which doesn't help. This is definitely a two-person job. Igniters A and B check on, fuel flow increase.
EV36 Echo Tango, contact tower.
There we go, engine 1 available, start valve's not closed. That's good, and then we should be able to close that as well. Let's just walk back here.
Anchor and hull again, EV25 Whiskey, back with you, stand 104 and ready for push with information. Picture on board, PDLC as well.
Next page.
EV25 Whiskey, stand 104.
So igniters A and B, 43% check off, start valve, slight valve, check cross line. Main engine parameters check normal, secondary. Engine manual start, push button switch off.
500 for
Close the guard,
Romeo
mission
and Lima,
mode, normal.
gear.
First time I've ever done this. Oh, chuffing it. There we go. That's good. When no other engine requires to be started manually, shedding system restore, SAP engine start resume, engine start with air start units not required. That's good. Right. Back in.
Put Mike 126 left fire, Mike.
Let's get rid of the chrono. Reset that. We're going to go speed brake arms, rudder trims 0. We're going to go flaps 1 for departure, and we've got to set that trim setting as well up 1.1 to match the thing. Oops. Up 1.1. We're going to go flight controls page. Up 1.1, and we're going to go fully left. We're going to go to that view here so we can have a little look at those. Back to neutral. Fully right. In fact, there's a lift active on the wing already. Look at that. If I just quickly do this, see it wobble. It's pretty cool. Rear, neutral, forwards on the elevator, back to neutral. Go rudder left. And right. Okay, good. We can clear that master caution. The status page there is going to give us the in-op system now, because that's kind of reminding us that we've got that tech log kind of deferred option. And Griffin 34 Romeo, sorry for the delay, I had to do a manual start, request taxi.
Griffin 34 Romeo, yeah, no problems at all, just hold position 1 second.
Okay.
KLM 194 to get the ground.
Auto
Do you
brake
have an
max.
ETA to when you can taxi?
1+F is good, so we'll go takeoff config norm, ground service required.
That is amazing news. KLM 1942 taxi holding point Alpha 2.
And we've got that runway turn flights in op there as well. Let's get the APU off.
Taxi to holding point Alpha 2 for G6 left, yeah, Papa, Alpha 0 and 1946.
Griffin 34 Romeo following the KLM A321 Neo in front of you. Taxi holding point Alpha 2, runway 26 left 5 Papa and Alpha Sierra.
Follow the KLM in front, hold point Alpha 2, runway 26 left 5 Papa and Alpha Sierra, Griffin 34 Romeo. I feel very rusty when I've not been in the sim for a little while, and when I've not done a great deal of flying as well, as I'm sure you guys get the feeling of every now and again as well. Certainly then when you get into an aircraft that you're not necessarily familiar with. Yeah, I'm very familiar with the Phoenix A321, for example, but the way they designed their add-on is so different to this that actually there's a whole lot of learning again required. And already made a couple of little mistakes here and there and lost my mind a tiny bit with that manual start. Even though I knew it off the top of my head, I knew I had to look up there and run the engine start sequence manually via that click switch. But it was interesting to look through the documents page and work through those different documents to get to the right procedure. And there's so much information in that tablet.
Tom to 347, we need to cancel takeoff clearance. We're going to do another
really good
try
to see Ashley tonight. Big thank you as always to our fantastic air traffic controllers.
347, Roger. Do you have any
and we're just taxiing quite nicely on idle at the moment.
The alphas are fine.
Right, let's get the
yeah, the alpha is going to be fine.
Oh yeah.
Tom Jet 347, Roger. Taxi 08 left. Alpha November, hold short Papa.
He definitely said Papa, didn't he?
Alpha November,
he's just gone taxiing down November.
Papa, Tom Jet 247.
Rudder feels a bit different. It's obviously got the kind of the tiller thing going on. Aha! So I need a keybind for that really. Press and hold the pedal disconnect, and there we go. Whee! So I need to know what the keybind for that is. That's very rapid though, crikey.
Contact tower and 124.230, KLM.
And that's now a lot more sluggish, which I think is probably like the real jet. Papa Alpha Sierra, hold point Alpha 2.
And ET25 Whiskey ready for taxi.
Is he holding?
Whiskey, taxi, yep. Papa hold shot Juliet.
Papa hold shot Juliet for 25 Whiskey.
Little flash to say thanks.
Griffin 34 Romeo, contact tower 124.230, bye bye.
Contact tower on 124.230. Thanks ATC, have a good night. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too. And Tom Jet 347 taxi holding point Alpha 3 runway.
That was messy. That push button thing is definitely a bit too like wacky woo for me. So just press and hold it at the moment, and it's super sensitive. That's a bit better. Again, just getting used to a different feel. That's all it is. It's not bad, it's just different.
Speedboat 245, establish RLS 26 left.
Speedboat 245, Gatwick, hello, continue approach.
Continue approach, 26 left, Speedboat 245.
298, nothing said, that was the reason I have a different.
Get him ready. Cruise advised. Gatwick Tower, good evening. Griffin 34 Romeo's Alpha 2 ready for departure.
Griffin 43 Romeo, Gatwick Tower, hello.
Don't know where that KLM
Gatwick Griffin 6 left, Takeoff, establishing RLS 26 left, 11 miles.
Griffin 6 Delta Golf, Gatwick Tower, hello, continue approach number 2.
Oh, it's an A321 Neo. I hope he stops.
And Chow, my apologies, KLM 1942, we missed a turn off for Alpha 2, Alpha 1, so we're now at Mike 3, KLM 1942.
KLM 1942, I asked you to be at Mike 1, so you are at Mike 1, you have it.
We'll pop that on auto.
Understood, misheard it first time, altitude to Mike 1, KLM 1942.
Super 245 from E26 left, swing 26 degrees 40 knots straight to land.
Cover 26 left, clear to land, Speedboat 245.
Color 1942 behind the rising 777 British Airways.
Oh, I'm dying inside.
Stand up and wait behind the.
Hope he stops there. There's the hold line for him. Who's making me really nervous. Now, by the way, we've been told to stop at Alpha 2, which is here. Alpha 1 is there. That's why I've not gone any further. Should really turn that nose light off as well.
Taxi to holding point Alpha 1.
I'm excited for this.
Good evening, EV25
So tower, and then we've got
departure.
advisory, which is Unicorn 1228, but it's now called advisory frequency. And we're just waiting for the chance to line up. And lock that flight deck door. Cheeky bugger! Oh, beautiful. It's a 777. Yes, gimme gimme. Look at this. My favourite aircraft in the sim at the moment. 777-300ER. Oh! That's superb. I've got that on a screenshot. Oh, is he going missed? He is.
Speedbird 245 going around.
It's all going on in Gatters.
Turn left 130 3000, speedbird 245.
Just confirm 160.
160 245.
So the KLM. What the? Mike, welcome, buddy. Yeah, a bit later than usual today. Actually, I'm running a bit behind already. Quite a bit behind. That manual start's gone. That's done me legs. I've got a screenshot of that triple that was coming in on final there, so I'll put that on Volanta. That's how we're tracking the flight today. And yeah, as mentioned in the live chat earlier as well, we've got the freeware Palma de Mallorca scenery, which is superb by the looks of it. I haven't yet tried it out, so I've downloaded it for today. And we're going to give it a go. Keep rolling, he says.
Sorry, that was a little bit quiet. Can you repeat the last call for 192?
14 knots. Keep rolling, please.
And he's going to come.
Griffin 6 Delta Golf Express Line 11.
Roger.
Tao, I don't think the KLM heard you.
Griffin 6 Delta Golf, go around.
Go around, Griffin 6 Delta Golf.
KLM 1942, hold position.
It's all going on.
Hold position 1942, and sorry, I really could not hear you.
Speedbird 245, advisory 122 dismay, call me back 1, establish localizer 26 left.
It's all
Crossway,
kicking off.
speedbird 245.
Griffin 6 Delta, call, make a left and heading 0. Correction, 200, plan maintain 3000.
How good is the 350? It looks fantastic, doesn't it? It looks really cool.
Altitude
Oh, look, there's that 777. But again, you know, Matthew's noticed a few things, like the cost index is greyed out.
Tower Kestrel 66.
Naturally, that's really important.
Hello.
Where's that one gone? Oh look, we've got bird poo on the windscreen. That's the windscreen getting a bit dirty. Where's that go around gone? Oh, there he is. Poking me head out the window.
Tower 1942, 26 left, heel up, leave for takeoff. Southeast 260 degrees, 14 knots.
Lift takeoff.
How you doing, Jacob?
14. Sorry about the previous incident.
Dodger 347, VR for
I
1.
just need to apologise, these things happen.
26 left, line up always behind.
There's a lot of information being thrown around.
Line up behind Airbus A321, 265, pump at 247. Griffin 6 Delta Golf, make a left turn heading 150.
Oh, we've been bumped to the back of the queue here.
So left saying 150 degrees, Griffin 6 Delta Golf.
And Griffin 6 Delta Golf, you can now continue on advisory 122 this night. Speaking soon.
Joe, welcome. Pavel, good to see you. Oh, come on. Don't you creep forwards. Ali, welcome. Love the tutorial episodes for all the aircraft. Could you please continue making episodes throughout the FSLABS A380 updates? I will, mate. As they add more key features, I'll do my best to get that added in, mate. What's going on here? What's going on here? Christopher, welcome.
Griffin 34 Romeo behind departing Domjet 737 600 the Alpha 126 left line up and way behind.
Find the departing 2E jet, line up 826 left behind Griffin 34 Romeo.
Domjet 34726 left clear for takeoff, 726 is 40 knots.
Oh, that's nice, that's a double click there, straight to the retractor off position.
KLM 1942, nothing further, my advisory 122 mate.
OT income 123 decimal line. Thanks for 86, yeah. KLM 1942.
Easy 25 whiskey taxi, hold it in Alpha 1.
Oh, chuffing it, there's too much going on here.
25 whiskey.
Can't get the transponder on because I'm too busy pressing the pedal disconnect button to get myself lining up nicely. And then that goes all messy.
Domjet 347,
Right, there we go. Press and hold, back in. There's definitely a lot more kind of fiddliness.
Griffin 34 Romeo 26 left clear for takeoff, 726 is 40 knots.
26 left clear for takeoff, Griffin 34 Romeo.
Easy 25 whiskey behind departing
So I need to make sure I get the nose wheel kind of down that centre line for at least that pedal disconnect button. And then we're going to listen to these IAEs roar. That'll do, about there. Lights, oh that's bright, lovely. Right, here we go. Stick forwards.
66 Gatwick.
Castro 66.
Cancel, that's what I was looking for. Behind 8320, give the way for 8320 taxi to hold it in Alpha 1.
It's a different noise.
I get way to the edge yet.
Straight down the runway, that windsock.
River 245.
The traffic in front of you did it go around after me. It's just kind of
nice feel of rudder authority now actually as well.
Go around policy.
Big D-rate on the old departure. Quite heavy. V1 rotates. V2.
I did try to separate him.
That feels really nice.
I made the separation, so to be sure that you will prefer the first one.
Positive
so
rate.
I can do
You're up.
anything about that.
Yeah, no problem not having a go at you at all. I would appreciate it if you can make him go around. As he's literally just got in front of me.
So he will be sent to go around again.
It's all going on.
Easy 25 whiskey, 26 left, Southern 2 degrees 14 knots clear for takeoff.
Yeah, take off these 25 whiskey.
Castra 626, the Alpha 126 left line up and wide behind departing DT220.
Leave a climb.
26 left behind the EasyJet, the Kestrel 626. Kestrel 626.
Griffin 24 Romeo, nothing further, advisory 122, this night, this light.
Unicorn 1228, Griffin for Romeo, thanks, have a good night.
Griffin.
For traffic, Central Monaco, definitely star left, 27 left out, 12 miles.
Get rid of those. Disarm the speed brake. Slightly different keybind for that, it seems. That's fine. And we can clear that status ECAM warning there as well. Clear those as required. The sounds are really good actually, and look, we're already at that altitude constraint. Cruiser 350 today, and look, we've now got a little bit more bug splat on the window, which is pretty cool. It's gone very quiet. Right, so let's go to open climb. And we'll keep climbing up. We'll listen to that spool up again. Dutch Planes, thank you very much for subscribing, mate. Appreciate it. Through 6, standard pressure. Standard pressure. By the way, I've had to revert to my mobile phone for the chat because there's some weird stuff going on my computer at the moment. I don't know why, but my Chrome isn't connected to the internet all of a sudden, which is not ideal. That's good, that's good. That's all set. Right, where are we? Let's see if we can hear the PA going off. We'll leave that on. Do like those noises. .51 knot crosswind. Okie dokie. Right, look at, and we've got quite a bit of dirt. I mean, that's a bit of a messy looking, whatever that's meant to be, texture, bug splat, whatever. But we've got a few bits of dirtiness on the windscreen actually now. Let's get those off. Seatbelt signs off. Joe says, hi, I have a fantastic flight. He's used the FSLABS A321 in P3D for several years. Says, outstanding aircraft. Hope this one for MSFS has the same quality. By the way, what traffic are you using for VATSIM? It's a blend of FSLTL, but primarily FSLTL. A little bit of AIG as a backup as well, for what it's worth. Chris says the A321 flies like a charm, better takeoff, rotation, better landing without the floaty feeling of the Fenix. It's a true study level flight feel for the aircraft. Yeah, the rotation there felt actually genuinely quite superb. Didn't FSLABS program a link for the nose tiller to the rudder? We had it in P3D. Maybe, but again, it's the first flight, so I'm still tinkering about somewhat and having a little look to see how it all works. I'm having some very weird PC issues at the moment. And even this, it's gone very washy for a south coast UK. The sounds are really impressive. What the heck is that? That's awful. I don't understand what's going on really on my computer at the moment. Definitely seems like a bandwidth issue of some sort. The fact says the biggest downside to the FSLABS A321 CEO is the incompatibility with New Sky, but Robson has contacted the devs, so it's a waiting game for now. Yeah, so that is something I know is in the works. It is in progress at least, which is good to know. The FSLABS folks are in contact with Robson, so at some point in the near future it would be hopefully an option for us to enjoy, and then we get it added to our new sky flying. I mean, for the externals it does look really good, doesn't it? Sounds on the ground were very nice. Good old Aerosoft North Sea pack down there doing us a bit of justice as well. I mean, that's really nice. So flight time today about 1 and a bit hours. It's about 1.5 hours, I think, isn't it, off the top of my head? Scott's Viking, welcome aboard. Thanks for subscribing. Alright, I think we should be back. Do give us a little thumbs up if we are. There, basically Sky completely just went down, so everything went off in my house. And it seems a bit weird and intermittent at the moment, but yeah, we're back in effectively, I think. Flying along, we've got the connection lost on and off and all the rest of it at the minute, but that's kind of going back and forth, saying that we are on the network / not on the network. So what I might do is try and force it back. Thanks for bearing with me, folks. Those of you that did, appreciate it. Good to see lots of you tuning back in as well, appreciate it. Right, successfully connected. Good. So that now means I can reconnect to VATSIM. That's super weird that happened. It's, I've not had that for a very long time. I have noticed recently that Sky has been fairly problematic in comparison to what I've used prior. Although I was with BT and they were costing me like 3 times more, so it's swings and roundabouts, isn't it? You can't win sometimes. Right, yeah, we're back in. Connected to voice server, that's all looking good. I need to check Volanta and just work out where we are airspace wise as well with the old server. Don't really know what happened there, it's super strange. Oh. Oh, that's a horrible stutter. That's Volanta firing back up again. I'll tell you what, it's got me really nervous now for some reason, I don't know why. It's all going on today. This is why I don't do evening streams. All of a sudden we're getting some weird stutters, but I think that might be the fact that maybe all that extra photogrammetry is having to load back in now. Seems the data system went off. Connection lost again. I'm going to do a little speed test and see what's going on. I don't know if Sky is down in the area or not, or if it's being a bit problematic. But the main thing is we've got clouds, weather data, all that sort of snazziness. And we're still flying, touch wood. I feel like we're going to get that fair bit today, the old successfully connected thing now. Yeah, so far, the summary that I've kind of noticed is I need to set a keybind for the pedal disconnect button for nose wheel steering. Unless there's a way that we can link it either in the MCDU or EFB or in the control center settings, something like that. Failing that, I'll just set a keybind to press the button and it should be fine. Juan, welcome buddy, good evening to you. But system depth wise, you can tell that there's a lot more inside of this simulation, if that makes sense. Though a lot of it probably not going to use that much. I'm one of those where I don't want failures all the time. If I can sort the deferred tech lock out and reduce those failures, I probably would. So, you know, I'm not one for going to the back panel here and yanking circuit breakers and all that sort of stuff. I just want to enjoy flight. So that level of complexity doesn't bother me that much. The handling on the rotation of that takeoff was very, very nice. That was actually quite noticeably different compared to what Phoenix have offered in their A321, which feels nice, but this felt a lot more intentional and a lot smoother and a bit heavier. MCD options, Tim Sim says. Let's have a little look, shall we? We've got, yeah, so we can replace some bits there as well. Engines, doors, stereo controls. No. Pedals, control, nose wheel steering. Pedal disconnect button sticky. That's quite cool. So if I turn that off now, pedals work in tandem with steering tiller axis. We'll see how that handles on the touchdown. Hopefully it'll be okay. So there we go, that's that setting sorted. Sounds, airport sounds, GSX voice, sound volumes. Oh, you can turn those up as well. I feel like it's about right, and that's quite cool. You can actually, now this, I've not seen this in an aircraft before, to be fair, so this is really good. So if you want certain sounds to go through certain devices, you can go into this menu and you can move them between your PC speakers, your headset, whatever that might be, and you can set all of this bespoke. So that's actually genuinely quite clever, and that's impressive. I like that. That's pretty cool. Options displays target frames per second. 2D in virtual cockpit 90. I feel like 30 would be fine for that. Although I'm not having performance issues with it, so. And that's the other thing I've noticed. Performance on this is very smooth. Aha, the first officer's thing isn't linked. There's got to be a way to do that as well, surely. Options. Sync, yes. Alright. Lots of configurable things here at the moment. Pretty good. What are we on? 1228 just to refresh my settings for being back on VATSIM. There's definitely improvements for like the wing views. I'd like to hear Yeah, when you move backwards to one of these views here in the Phoenix A321, you hear the rumble of the engine, that bassy note that you get. Here, there's no difference to here. So the soundscape needs a lot of work, I think. Unless there was an option for that in here as well. Let's keep fiddling. Yeah, no, it's just it's one or the other, isn't it? It's got some really good elements to it, but is it sort of... it's a bit of a tough one, isn't it? Because the Phoenix products are so good, and you can get the A3 19, 20 and 21 for about 80 quid, 85 quid. Whereas you're getting for $79.99, oh, it's $69.95, isn't it? In GBP, that's £55. You're getting the A321 CEO from FSLABS, so roughly around kind of the similar sort of pricing structure, I think. It's a hard one, isn't it? I'm not sure. I mean, I love the cabin environment there. You can see all the GSX passengers inside the cabin. I love that. And the integration is a huge plus. I'm just listening for these sounds here from the outside. Oh, the exterior model looks fantastic. It's interesting because the soundscape on the startup on the ground was superb. In the air, there's very little outside. What where the hell are we going? Where are we going? That was mega weird. And my navgraph is disconnected. Tangent of explaining a point, and then something will happen with the broadband that means that I then get sidetracked and... Yeah, most people are effectively on Sky and or BT. I think they're the kind of two, or BT's now EE, isn't it? But yeah, that's pretty much now the feel of it. It's probably going to go off a bit more as well, just as a fair warning for you folks. But we'll keep going. And yeah, we're on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. It says it'll wait till then, maybe it'll be a more polished aircraft. So one of the things they have said in our Discord server the other day when I was, or earlier on, I was mentioning about this LOD thing going on. This is really unacceptable for wing views, but they've released it anyway, and they've put this out here. And it's just nasty, isn't it? It's just this horrible LOD thing. Like a cockpit view. It's probably to save on performance, I think. I don't know. They have said that they are going to finish the cabin in a future update. When that will be, I have absolutely no idea. But the only time you get a cabin is looking from the outside in, where you can then kind of get your GSX integration. You can see all your passengers. There we go. Let's have a little look. Oh look, there he is. But even then, this is a flight deck that, or sorry, it's a cabin that, because you're in drone camera mode, it's a little bit clunky. Aircraft's bobbing about naturally in the air anyway. but not mega amounts of detail again, because the seatbelt signs and things like that aren't animated within it. The contrails look very good, and a hell of a lot better than what Phoenix have created as well, because I mean that's been one of my criticisms of Phoenix's products. The contrails have always looked way too fluffy, way too kind of thick, and I don't really, they just don't look right. They never have, whereas these look really nice. Let's just go further down and away and see what it gives us. Yeah, I mean that looks superb, doesn't it? Look at that. Let's just try and bring that in line with the centre. Totally different to the Phoenix contrails, and I think they are a lot better in this FSLABS product. I mean that's superb. That's a good point actually, Rab says there. With that weird internet issue we've just had, I wonder what happens on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 when you're dealing with something like that. Probably quite a lot of messiness, right? Ark says he uses the Phoenix A320 but he hasn't bought their 21 or 319 yet. Would I recommend the FSLABS instead? It's a really tough one because with the Phoenix system you're getting the 19 and 21 included in a package, which then goes on top of their base A320, and all three of those are really superb. They are spectacular add-ons. This again is first flight. I think for the price that they're offering currently, with wing views having to be set up like this, with this horrible kind of in-cockpit model of nothing, the fuselage, that's not acceptable to me. That's just really not very nice, and it does ruin it somewhat because you can't. Yeah, one of my favourite wing views is kind of like a wing view like this. If I just move backwards, typically, those of you who watch my channel a lot, you'll know that that is effectively one of my favourite wing views, and you can't do that in this aircraft, for what I've found, unless there is a way, and I've just completely missed it. But using the standard kind of tricks that we do for setting custom camera configs and things, that's the end result. So it does leave you with only kind of a couple of wing views there hiding away, so you don't see the engines and the textures with the LODs. And they're still nice, but it could be a hell of a lot better for the price. I don't understand why they've released it without a cabin being completed for us to enjoy in like a normal flight deck thing. It'd be good to be able to just kind of pop the door open and go and explore. And the argument though, in contrast, is, well, it's a flight simulator. Everything we should care about should be deep system integration and simulation here. So it's a tough one, isn't it? If you want ultimate system depth and ultimate system simulation, I think this is probably where you're going to get it more than the other options, more than the Phoenix, for example. Oh yeah, what have we got here? Let's see how far down I can get this. Okay, that's gone into there. Can't. It's a bit clunky and a bit fiddly. Ooh. It's nice. We do this one? No, because the tablet's in the way, that's fine. Yeah, it offers, you know, it offers a similar aeroplane, doesn't it? But they actually offer something totally different in level of detail. I suppose they would argue their priorities of the flight deck and the flight deck only. Everything else is a kind of nice to have. I don't know. Currently, I would err on preferring the Phoenix A321 at the moment. Cuban Demon, it is VATSIM, matey. Let's move the time. Oh, it's going dark anyway. Good. When we get further into the flight, then it should get a bit darker. We'll then start to have a little look at the flight deck environment, the lighting systems and all that sort of stuff as well, as part of a bit of a test for today. Quite nice. Yeah, what do you guys think? I mean, that's more important than my opinion. My opinion's only one. But there's loads of you watching, so I'm very curious to hear what you think. How do you think it compares against the Phoenix? From a constructive point of view. What I don't want is the I like the Phoenix because I like the Phoenix. You know, that kind of segmented Bandcamp sort of thing that we get sometimes. I don't really want that. I want more of a subjective. Which one do you think might be better than the other and why? What your reasons are behind that? Rab says he's using the FSLABS A320 tonight. Works like a dream, but it is a bit boring, he says. Thomas, welcome. Mortipilot says, I think not rendering anything other than what you can see from the cockpit is to save on performance, but it doesn't seem that they've finished the function yet. Merry Christmas, Peter. Hope you're having a good time. And yep, good evening. Thomas, what do you think? Although you may have just tuned in, to be fair. It's got a lot of good things going for it. Matthew says the MEL simulation is very good. It adds some significant reflyability to the aeroplane. Yeah, I love the tech log and carrying some failures, performance, non-performance, cabin related, deferred defects, that sort of thing. So we've already had at the start today the ignition B fault catch me out a little bit. You can go to fault history as well and have a little look at various things. So previously it's been resolved. You can see there we've had air conditioning pack failures, aft cargo proximity sensor fault as well, tail strobe light US, that's been replaced, smoke maintenance message as well, resolved today as well. So there's a lot going on with the aircraft. It's this MEL kind of simulation as well as it being an aeroplane. There's the systems are effectively alive. It will remember how we've handled this flight for the next time we fly it. Let's have a little look into this. It's technical data. You got all your fuel capacities, engine models, power plants, thrust ratings, wingspan. So this is where the systems go really deep. So if you want to learn the Airbus, this is the sort of thing you want to kind of read through. You've got all of these different QRH checklists and faults and all that sort of stuff. The only thing I wouldn't know how to do is get to one of those quickly, except for abnormal and emergency. But that then jumps to there anyway. So engine relight in flight, emergency descent. So these are kind of the real high risk bits. Odd over times for your de-icing, your anti-icing. That's pretty cool. And then you got your limitations of the aircraft as well. Which is good because actually sometimes we get confused. We fly so many different aeroplanes, we don't know how... oops. Oh, it's a scroll wheel job. Cool. Yeah, sometimes we get a little bit confused, don't we, with what the performance of various aeroplanes are, because I might be in a 777 freighter one day, the next day I'm in an A319, then I'm in an A321, then I'm in a 737. It's all a little bit mishmash, so we get easily confused in flight sim, I think. I know I feel like I do sometimes, and I start to blend different procedures from different aircraft into each other, and I get a little bit confused with it all. So it's good seeing like the wind limitations here, saying max demonstrated crosswinds 38 and all that kind of stuff. Tail strike, landing gear compressed 9.5 degrees for manoeuvring, extended 11 degrees. You got your limit for your toga thrust, 5 minutes, and then 10 minutes to potential engine failure. All your normal procedures manual as well, and then yeah, that maintenance stuff, the minimum equipment list. So if you want to learn the aeroplane, then this is pretty good actually at doing it, including this tutorial flight they've included. And a full-on introduction, including configuration, so you can go through, if we start at the beginning here, like your hardware setup, setting your certain dead zones, default sensitivities, axis assignments. Those of you with the Thrustmaster TCA, naturally, you want to know, that's always a question actually, that would always, people would usually ask, like, oh, does anyone know how to do the TCA? Well, there you go, they've actually included that inside the aircraft's documentation, so you can see precisely how to set it up as per the developer's wishes, which is good. That's something that needs to be done more, and it goes into a lot of detail there, so you really can't go wrong with it. And then the printer, so you can physically... The A321 supports printers used to print data and messages coming from systems like the ATSU data link and others. Any Windows printing device is supported and can be set up using the MCDU. So like the Phoenix, you can click print for your pre-flight stuff or whatever it might be, and you can actually then print it all off. Again, like Badge was saying earlier in the live chat, these guys are doing the same, which is really good. Goes into a lot of detail. Using the A321. Loading, saving flights, thrust lever, operation, toga. Text can be entered into the MCDU or the FB using your PC's hardware keyboard. To enable the keyboard entry method, simply hover your mouse cursor over the MCDU display and leave it there. A yellow box will appear alongside the outside border of the display. You then may enter text into the MCDU utilizing your computer keyboard for as long as the yellow border is displayed. Okay. Let's try that on... let's just type it into this, right? So we'll just put a random QNH. No. Matthew says it's not for everyone, but if you're looking for a true Airbus, then this is it. Yeah, it certainly does. It does feel very kind of complete from a system perspective. Doors and slides. If you wish to open or close cabin cargo doors, select doors on the MCD option page to get the door control options. Opening and closing these various doors are also via the EFB menu. In order to give the cabin crew a command to arm or disarm the slides, double click the left black PA button on the audio control panel. Probably won't do it now. So that'd be good actually for line-up for departure, or just have to push back.
Cabin crew, doors to automatic and cross-check.
Oh, there you go. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. And we've got the landing performance as well. We can kind of dig into that. Config full. We'll be able to just kind of pull the data and have a little look a little bit nearer the time. It looks really good from a system point of view in the flight deck. Matthew says, I think it's almost the exact same situation as Leonardo's Mad Dog. It's so insanely deep systems-wise that it does not have the computing available to be elite visually. Yeah, I'm not sure. I just don't think they've got round to doing it yet. I don't know. I know that they are, from what they were saying earlier in our Discord server, they are looking at doing a cabin, which would be very nice. I like the fact that the aircraft gets dirty. I like the fact that you've got MEL simulated, so you've got to consider deferred things in the tech log. You know, we've operated today with ignition mode B not working, so we've had to then a bit clunky, but we've had to get around doing the manual start, refresh our memory with that. Yeah. But there is a lot left to be done. It's not on par with Phoenix from a polished, finished point of view, I don't think, or the price. Certainly when it's comparable. Yep, says he would like the Concorde, to be honest. I know a lot of FSLABS Concorde feedback has been exceptionally good. I think people think very highly of that, so yeah, I think that would be quite nice. I know the DC Designs Concorde has had a few updates. I think now it supports INS, but I can't fully remember. But that's taken them like 3 years to get INS supported. Really quite a lazy development phase for that aircraft. But I suppose it's something I should probably check out again. It's been a little while, hasn't it? Nightbot error connecting to remote server. Let's just try and see how Nightbot is getting on. Get her resynced. Should be back up and working. Kibid even says, what's your opinion on Latin VFR's aircraft? They have a few aircraft like the A340, although I don't think they are the best quality. Yeah, no, they're not the best quality. They're very kind of low average. Latin VFR are effectively a scenery developer who has decided to move into the aircraft add-on world because it's more lucrative, effectively. They've worked out a way of just pumping out loads of different aircraft, all with default systems. But at the same time, A, it caters to the Xbox market quite nicely. B, they've actually learned quite a few things over the last year and a bit with the various add-ons that they've released, and they have been mentioning like custom like FMS and all this other stuff that they're looking to integrate. So at least they haven't just kind of released what it is and just left it like that. You know, I'm thinking down the lines of Brecod and virtual call and all that kind of stuff, and FSS with their E-jets, where there's been very little progress for a very long time, yet they're just still kind of selling the lie to us. And they haven't done that, which is a positive, isn't it? Vegas is asking there, does this FSLABS A321 have the Airbus FLS system? It's a very good question, actually. I'm not sure, to be totally honest. I don't know if any developers are in the live chat that might be able to answer that one.
Here at British Airways Euroflyer, we are very proud to have a long-standing charity partnership with Comic Relief called Flying Start. Together, our customers and colleagues have raised over £28 million to help children and young people living through the most challenging times of their lives in the UK and around the world. This includes supporting organisations like Butterflies in Delhi. Butterflies works to give life skills to children that are living or working on the streets of Delhi, to help them thrive away from
the new CMS constant Mach function ensures consistent speed across various conditions, whilst RMP-AR required navigation performance with authorization required enables highly accurate navigation for challenging approaches. A suite of sophisticated features have been added to the FMGS, including offsets for flexible route planning, step altitudes for efficient cruise management, and required time of arrival for precision timing on arrival.
On behalf of BA Euroflyer, Comic Relief and Flying Start,
each circuit breaker is meticulously modelled and is an integral part of the aircraft's electrical network. Oh yeah, this is a cool feature, by the way, that I wanted to talk about. So the FSLABS A321 simulation actually goes further than standard nav systems that we see in the sim quite often. And actually, people that have watched the InnyBuilds A350 teaser today may have noticed they're offering a very similar thing with that when it eventually releases in the next few months. GPS jamming simulation. So the FlightSimLabs A321 has incorporated GPS jamming in the add-on, and that's based on real-world jamming data, so that we will experience the operational challenges of flying in GPS denied environments, like near White Sands missile range, they've said there, during test days, where GPS signal interference is a constant factor. Additionally, navigating into airports like Larnaca, known for its complex jamming scenarios, become a true test of skill. This approach requires precision handling and alternate nav techniques to overcome signal disruption. And that is a very cool feature that I would love to kind of push and try. I don't know how I can trigger that in these little flights, but it is an option in here. If I just go to MCDU menu, trying to remember where it is, FMGC, no, I will find it, no, ADRS alignments, is it in various? GPS jamming, there we go. Enabled. So we've got it enabled, so if we do get some sort of GPS jamming, I don't know how we would know, actually, to be honest. That'd be, we'd learn as we go, I think. What have we got here in the chat, just catching up? The end of year announcements, LAT VFR have said that they're focusing on upgrading the FMS to be VATSIM capable with holds, directs correctly modelled, etc. That'll be interesting to see, absolutely, yes. Someone called Ray says the Phoenix has FLS, so he would assume FlightSimLabs does, and FSS have just added a Honeywell FMS to the Boeing 727. Yeah, I saw that today, actually. Matthew says, just as a bit of reality check, we, as in his operator, his company, have the largest narrow-body Airbus fleet in the world. We're now just getting our first bird with FLS. None of the older birds will be retrofitted with it. I don't think, because this is one of the very much older, this is definitely an older system. Airbus. I don't think this would have FLS in it, to be fair. I think how old is this one? Like 30 odd years old. Okay, so we've got a little ACARS message there. Stand 11 it's given us. I want stand 64. Oh well. That's pretty cool. Decked Out Games flying to Keflavik, and he's just spotted me on Valanta. Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah, you're right actually, Ray. That's how you would know. If you get GPS jamming, you might get weird erroneous like terrain warnings and things. I remember that actually seeing a video with that in action. It's quite interesting. I've got to work out how EUXE age. It is 20.2 years old, this aircraft that we're mimicking today. MSN 2323. Oh, they've even got that there as well. And I would imagine that cell cal code's probably accurate as well, to be fair. Stand 11 has been allocated to me, Ray, on that ACARS. I think so, actually, yeah. Manually change the gate number and get GSX to send a follow me if you want. Go on, Tim. Tell me how to do that, and we'll show it live. Boom. It's not in there. Actually, it's probably an ACARS then. But there's the alternative. So if you don't want to dig into the MCDU, you can bring it up here in the tablet. In or post flight. Whatever. The system depth is definitely impressive. What the chuffing heck? Some weird stuff going on here with my sim at the moment. In this, some very odd keybinds and things. I don't really know what's happening. But all of a sudden it's like making me lock out. I don't understand what's going on here with that. There we go, and then all of a sudden it's just stopped. Mega weird. Oh, all sorts of strange things going on today. Right, ATSU. AOC. Oh! It's going to be that one, isn't it? So I can go 64. And then you could request that follow me. So we've now requested that as well. That's pretty cool. That's quite cool, actually. I like that. We'll see how that works, actually, when we land. So with the way this is integrated into GSX so well, this should now mean that when we land, we get a follow me come out to us, and hopefully that will lead us automatically to stand 64, where everything will be ready. He says, Touchwood. Spitfire RF, fellow Beatty, how are you? Windy Aviation, thanks for subscribing to the channel. Welcome aboard. Oh, I know what we can do actually. We can do that constant Mach thing as well. Well, it's 679, isn't it? I'm thinking of the Boeing, aren't I? Where we type stuff in. Yes. Getting confused between the planes. Started his descent already, Rab says. Crikey. Have to see where we are. QNH 1029 at Palma de Mallorca. That's really high. Winds 0703. Oh, really? According to Flight Radar, that's when this landed the other day. 12, 14, 18 or 20, actually says. Vertical revisions page, that would be the one, Matthew. Charts. Let's have a little look. So, making good progress. Currently over BB. We don't have any ATC on in this sector. I don't know if in Flight Radar Palma de Mallorca in real life is actually using... Let's have a quick look actually. Looks like it's using the Easterlies, the 07s. Was it 24s, sorry. So they're departing west, I think. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's just a different aircraft going somewhere else. Okay, so they've just used 24 right for a departure. Therefore, I think we could probably use 24 left for an arrival. That's currently how it's looking out for us, which goes quite nicely actually into what we were expecting with this aeroplane for the approach of our routing for today. So let's have a little look. Right, so 24 left, 3 knot tailwind, 1 knot crosswind, lorry 1 Papa, and it was the ILS Zulu 24 left via Pulse. We'll add that to the route, and that'll bring us in like so. Ah, cheers, Liam. Yeah, that's why I took 64. I just noticed it on Flight Radar, but I only checked one flight, so I didn't check for patterns. Quite lazy like that. Right, so where are the 18 stands? Oh, they're all the way over here, the old terminal. So 64 was there, so we're basically going to vacate off Sierra 2, taxi straight into Pier C, park up, job done. Instead, we have to go run all the way down the link and then head down into Romeo for one of those stands there. Was it 8, 10, 12? I'm trying to find yeah, 12, 14, 18 or 20. Actually says. I'll take 20. It'd be a good way to kind of go and explore the airport anyway, won't it? Check it all out for the first time. I don't know how long's left actually. I feel like we're massively overrunning. I thought we'd be on approach by now. That manual start definitely didn't help. Flight Sim says you can also request a crew bus with a tray of ice, gin and tonics to be waiting for you. No, I've had enough gin for the next 2 weeks, I think, to be honest. I woke up this morning still feeling like I was potentially drunk, so had a nice little full English breakfast to see me through, start the day. And then I've not gone anywhere really outside of the house. Just kind of walked Indy around to our little training area, which is a nice little green thing that we've got next to the pig farms. Nice bit of space to do like recall training and all that kind of stuff. That's pretty good. SPIF says, how is the FSLABS plane compared to the Phoenix? It's a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. I think the Phoenix offers a more all-round kind of impressive, complete package. The flight model in this feels better. and the system depth with the MEL elements and like an actual live tech log and all that sort of stuff, that is very impressive. There's a whole host of documentation which I love, and the GSX integration in this is by far beyond anything I've experienced so far in the sim. It is seamless, really, really good. The performance calculations are really good as well. Phoenix performance calculations I've always found very off, whereas these are pretty nailed, I think. But then where it gets let down is wing views and the cabin environment. In here, this is what you get. It's kind of LOD'd out for like a cockpit view. So if you want to see the cabin, you've got to go into an exterior drone mode. Oh, by the way, the contrails are a hell of a lot better in this as well. You've got to go into drone camera, and then you can head into the aircraft. Oh, there's even a sound transition there. Which is good. But yeah, we're in Microsoft Flight Simulator now, not P3D. That's where this falls down a little bit. Those extra nice bits that we've actually come to expect in every add-on that we've got, I think is so important that this does miss. The sounds are as well superb on the ground. Very washed out in the air. Contrails I love. Yeah, the system depth for me stands out massively. It's very impressive. There's so much depth to this. The whole aircraft is kind of living in the simulation, which is very impressive. Scotty2 says you'll be able to set up views via the camera config surely. So I've set up that one, that one, and that one, because it means that we don't see this. So that is like a priority piece for me that needs to be solved. But it just depends on how the developers want to pursue their own kind of development of their product. But the rotation felt leaps and bounds better than the Phoenix. VATSIM, yeah, the control preset numbers, these. So these are all included. Nothing in the cabin. But yeah, wing views are massive, aren't they? There you go, that's all of them. I don't know what that one relates to. Gravity gear extension handle, maybe? Yeah, there's like I said, there's a lot of good stuff. It's a really hard one to kind of review, actually, to be honest. And I definitely want to see more of your thoughts in the chat about what you think in comparison. And even as a standalone product, not even just comparing with anything else. For $70 US plus VAT, what do you reckon? Showcase camera, that's a good shout. That's insert enter, right? There you go. How do you cycle? Is it A and K? That sounds quite nice. Another one there. I wonder if I can toggle my... Yes. Oh, hello. Whoa. Good old Toby eye tracker's coming in handy now. See, this is now where the cabin environment looks a little bit better. Having that little bit there. Yeah, I mean the sounds definitely are nicer in this sense, I think. So they need to bring whatever this LOD is, whatever this environment is that we're now sitting in, they need to make that the default for cockpit view as well. So when we set up our wing views, this is what we can enjoy. Go to the next view. What do we got here? Hello, mate. Yeah, very good. That's pretty much my favourite wing view right there. These are fixed, so you can't move left, right, up, down, or anything like that. We've got BA seats. No, they're not bad though. They're actually quite close to what BA have. Recaros. DJ Aviation, hello. Yes, NVIDIA frame generator, yeah. James says they've confirmed that a full cabin is coming in a future update. I just think it's odd that you've released it when the cabin isn't there yet. But that's everything you get in the showcase cam presets, which is quite nice. But again, it's a bit of a faff to get in and out of, isn't it? 80 miles to top of descent. So what have we got? Let's get the bits put in here. So LEPA arrival, ILS 24 left Zulu, Loris 1 Papa via Bos. Insert. Ta-da! And then we can have a little look here. We need that Q&H stuff again. Multipilot says, don't forget to brief the obstacle chart for 24 left. There's a lot of junk on final approach to be aware of. So we've got Q&H 1029. (0703). Interesting to see how this handles in a slight tailwind. Currently a nice cool 6 degrees. Not much higher than the UK, is it? It's pretty rubbish for Palma. Arrival information is Charlie at the moment. So runway in use for arrivals 24 left. Expect ILS Zulu approach 24 left 0703. Visibility 10 kilometers. Few clouds 2000. 6 degrees. Dew point 5. QNH 1029. Transition level 70. Let's see how it will take this. Lovely. I'm very tempted to do a config 3 landing. See how she handles there. Cat 2, Cat 3 ILS. 119. And then we've got iPower 1093, inbound course 237. And the missed approach. Climb on runway heading to 420 feet. Turn left. Follow the radial 193 Son Sandion, Palma de Mallorca, to 3,000 feet. Contact ATC. There's no NDBs to worry about tuning. We'll just have to keep an eye on those VORs because we will want to make sure we set them up accordingly if we need them. We can go to... We won't do constant Mac. Fix info. Runway 24 left. See what it does here. Ooh, that's interesting. It's allowing us to put in a whole like unique place. Alright, let's try iPal. So that's going to be the threshold for the ILS. 1093. And we'll go for 10 miles. That's going to be a Boomo, 2,500. So level at that, we need to be. I'll put in 8. That'll do. Radius. Got 2 aircraft in front on the TCAS. 20 miles separation, that looks pretty good. That'll be him there on the nose. And that sun's started to go down. Let's get rid of the charts. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the flight model feels like for the touchdown. I know the Phoenix and everything, the A321 still feels really floaty, quite weird on final approach touchdown, and they've still not quite got that right. So I'll be quite interested to see how this feels in comparison to it. That's one of the big things I think I've noticed, at least for takeoff. This feels so much better. I have noticed that it is continuously kind of moving that down, losing the Mach number that we're setting. Let's just see how she does. We select speed. Christopher, no. I haven't yet. I've not really done very much on Flight Sim 2024, to be honest. But this is MSFS 2020 as well, by the way. Where's that landing calculation? Sim brief, flight plan. Let's have a quick check of my numbers here. Estimated landing weight 69.7. So yeah, that's pretty much on the nose. So that's. And then what we got? So approach speed 140. 24 left is what we want. Normal landing. It's good actually, you can calculate for an auto land there, that's pretty cool. And I assume it's given us just manual brakes. I'm assuming the one at the top is the one it recommends, right? And then we've got, look, exit there, look, recommended exit, Sierra 3, Hotel 8, Hotel 7. That's really cool. So, where do we want to come off? Sierra 3, Hotel 8. That's a bit further down. That's all the way down, Christ. Right, well, we'll do auto brake low, because that's where we know we can draw comparisons to the deceleration and things. So we'll set that. Auto brake low. Where are we? Still got. Oh, that's 40 miles still. Good. So we've got auto brake low. QNH stuff's done. We've checked the data as well. Just have a quick check for those discontinuities, make sure they've disappeared, or if they're there, work out why. And then we've got the missed approach there in blue as well. We can go to plan mode and have a little look closely at that as well. Just going to whack in some extended centre lines on the ILS as well. Let's see how that draws it in. Very nice. That. There's our extended centre line, the blue dash. And that 8-mile fixed ring at the threshold of the ILS. So then if we also go to fix info, just having a little fiddle here, I'm going to go for JOA, the new fix. We're going to do no radius. I want a radial of 193. Let's see what it gives us now. There's JOA that's marked now on the box. Couple of different fixed rings there, making it intentionally messy just so we can fiddle around and have a little look at what this is all like. We can just go ahead and clear that reference fix if we want. No drama. 18 miles to stop descent. So what did we have? 1029. Make a quick note of this. 1029. 3 knot crosswind. ILS. That's going to be there. And the stand was 20, I think, wasn't it? We went for in the end. For preference. Yeah, stand 20. Do 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 do. $10 miles to stop descent. So what do we want to go down to? Loris, then we've got Pospa, max 250 knots, and then Pollenza 16.4 for the VOR before we make the transition towards the ILS. So there's no altitudes there. No transition charts. Okay, Pollenza at 5,000, so we'll just spin the wheel down to 5. I'll aim for a continuous descent. We do have an approach controller on. And we're going to open descent now, set manage speed there. Don't forget the aeroplane's very clever. It wants us to select the right modes. And this is where now the system simulation is going to kick back in again quite deep, this aeroplane. So we'll start with auto brake low, and then we'll go to manual brakes for the touchdown. We'll see how we get on. Information Delta. Now we've got 19,405. So that's going to be approach. We'll stay on Unicom for a little bit longer. Though at Loris we'd probably end up speaking to the approach controller. So 19,405, that ATIS is set. Pretty much ready. Christopher says there it's the Phoenix A321 in MSFS 2024 is massively improved. V1 Simulations thinks it rivals the Talisman X-plane. And he used only that aeroplane for his streamed simulated check rides. That's quite interesting. But no, I haven't checked it out in that yet. Like I said a minute ago, I've not really used Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 all that much, if I'm really honest. I'm finding it like an unnecessary headache sometimes, that simulator. Turk in the US though says, Phoenix in 2024 flies exactly as it does in 2020. There's no difference except for the native wipers. That's interesting. And this is where it becomes very subjective. All I can say is the rotation, the way this felt on the rotation on the takeoff, felt very, very good. It felt a lot more intentional, and a lot easier for you to make that 3 degrees per second rotation that they recommend for an Airbus, A320, 21, that kind of thing. So it felt a lot smoother in that sense. So handling wise, the Phoenix feels great. The Phoenix A321 is great. I think this flight dynamic wise feels just that little bit better. Hard to tell until we get her on the ground. Integrated lights. Floodlights. What have we got here? Dome lighting. Super sonar.
The captain has now switched on the fasten seatbelt signs.
Scott, evening, mate.
Will shortly be landing. Please now return to your seat and make sure that all your personal belongings are safely put away.
I do like the cabin
overhead
packs
lockers
built into
or
this
under
as well.
the
It's
seat
quite
in
cool.
front of you. Customers sitting in a front row seat
It's
or
the
in an emergency
CEO
exit
Heathrow
row
spotting.
should place
A321
all items in the
CEO.
overhead lockers, leaving the floor area around your seat completely clear.
The
Please
niche for
check
this
that
is
your table is folded away. Your seat is in the landing position
cabin
with the
packs,
armrest
the
down,
MEL,
and your
all that
seatbelt is
juiciness.
securely fastened. If you are seated by a window and have lowered the blind, please return this to the open position for landing.
64, alright, thank you.
You may continue
Very short
to use
taxi it is,
handheld electronic devices for
19405.
landing.
Let's speak to
These
Santiago.
must be held securely or placed into a pocket. Larger items, including laptops,
On approach,
must
good
now be
evening,
switched off
Griffin
and stowed
34
away
Romeo's. Airbus A321 with information Delta inbound Loris, 10 miles to the north.
Griffin 34 Romeo, Palma approach, follow identified, expect ILS, follow runway 24 left, fly direct to Baboom.
What do I do? Expect ILS 24 left and fly direct Bavum, Griffin 34 Romeo.
Griffin 34 Romeo, confirm it's the ILS Zulu.
ILS Zulu, yes, 24 left.
Griffin 34 Romeo, descend to flight level, descend to flight level 80.
Descend level 80, Griffin H34 Romeo. So, done a direct to Bavum. Giving us a little shortcut. Basically straight to final. Look at this, we've got a sunset approach. Yeah, I prefer MSFS 2020 still. There's everything on there, isn't there? Yeah, we've got all the stuff we already enjoy quite nicely on 2020.
EC45 Tango Echo, continue taxi to stand 08 via North and Delta. Stand 0 North and Delta for EC45 Tango Echo.
So we've got seatbelt signs, that's all set. Manage modes for the descent, working down to 8. Right. That's the perks of flying offline, mate. Ancient Dina says Leeds is back up to 50 knots gusts, just had a go around. Yeah, I think when my internet went off earlier on, I think it's the weather here. It's been really blowing a gale. So I think it's just one of those kind of crazy nights where the weather is playing havoc with broadband. It's maybe knocked out a server set up somewhere, I'm not sure. But it's all back up and resolved at least, which is good. Sky Blue Radio, good evening. How are you? Merry Christmas to you guys, the entire team. And see, I've got both still installed Flight Sim Sim. I predominantly use 2020 more so than 2024 still. I'm waiting for all of these add-ons that we enjoy, like the PMDG 777 and all that, to become available in 2024. that's when I'm going to start moving across, but my hard drive now is swelling. It's bulging at the seams. Look at that, lovely. Grab a little screenshot of that. Ian, howdy matey. Yeah, the summary really for this, I think so far, yeah, I'll make a final decision towards the end, but it's really tough. The simulated MEL environment and all of that stuff, you know, having an aircraft that's in the simulation that's somewhat alive is quite spectacular, and I think that's where this really kind of propels itself into a bit of a, not a niche, but that's where they're angling their product. And it's doing the job really well. The GSX integration, like I said earlier, is the best I've ever experienced, hands down, by a long mile. It's so impressive what they've been able to do with the integration with GSX. Some of the music, some of the sounds and things as well are very nice from an external point of view. In flight though, that then changes and it becomes a little bit kind of weaker. But it looks great, doesn't it? The exterior model is superb.
Picture for Romeo, reduce speed to 60 knots.
Yeah, you broke on the key number at the start. Was it speed 260 knots? Script 3 for me.
Griffin for Romeo, affirm speed 260 knots.
Okay.
KLM 1942, main increase speed to 40 knots, please.
Increase speed to 240 knots.
The speed brakes.
42.
Happy days. Let's have a little closer look at this, shall we? Matthew says the P3D version also had real ice build up on the wing on the ground with simulated Type 1 and Type 4 with holdover times. Don't know if this is in that as well. Yes, so when we looked at the documents earlier, there was a whole setup on, is it going to be an MEL? I can't remember now. Chuffy Nick. Ice and rain protection. There's all that sort of stuff in there. And then, where is it? Introduction. It was in here, I think. Try and find it very quickly. Icing. There you go. So you de-ice on the ground, really important if you're flying into icing conditions. You do need to do that in this. There's ice prevention, simulated icing consequences, wings contaminated with ice are programmed to result in the following consequences. Changes of lift, changes of drag, engine icing as well. And you've also got the contamination starting to clock and hold over time, so all of that is simulated in this aircraft. So that is really quite superb. Level at 8, lovely. Look at this.
Palma approach, good evening, Kestrel 66 with you, levelling at flight level 200, Airbus 321 Delta.
Even though that's in off, I'm going to turn it on anyway, just out of good habit.
Kestrel 66.
That's looking good.
Kestrel 626, Palma approach, hello identified, expect ILS below runway 2 for left, fly direct to Baboon.
Pause the music for now. Yeah, it is in here, which is really quite amazing. So features-wise, this is packed full of deep simulation. That's where it really kind of propels itself, excels itself.
Direct Babum, Kestrel 66.
All the circuit breakers are everything at the back.
Reduce speed to 20 knots, descend to flight level 70.
Reduce speed 200 knots and descend 70, Griffin 34MA.
KLM 1942, descend to altitude 3000 feet, KNH 1029er.
103000 and KNH 1029er, KLM 1942.
What's the minimum cleans? 220. There's the hook though. Let's see what it does.
Castrol 6 to 60, center flight level 70.
Descent flight level 70, Castrol 66.
Yeah, it won't let us go any further below that, look. So we now need to juggle speed brake to make sure we can decelerate.
KLM 1942, turn right heading 220. KLM 1942, turn right heading 220, vectors for final.
Turn right heading 220 and vectors for final. KLM 1942.
Flaps 1.
Aircraft calling on the ground with Takeoff in.
And we've got that issue there, engine ignition 1. Again, as a reminder, engine ignition 1B.
Griffin 34 Romeo, descent to altitude 5,000 feet, QNH 1029er.
Send 5,000 feet, QNH 1029 over Griffin 34 Romeo. High to low, down you go. But actually, we're a lot higher than we wanted to be because of this change in local pressure.
On gate 6 with information data, request FR2.
So 200, I'm going to set 195 here.
1942, turn right heading 260, clear ILS, low runway to full left.
LS. Excited.
KLM 1942, turn right heading 260, clear ILS, low runway to full left.
Warning there, if fuel on board below 3 ton.
Turn right heading 260, clear ILS for runway 24 left, KLM 1942.
Lufthansa 7427 Palma approach, hello, you still have your flight plan, you have not filed a new flight plan.
Let's see.
Lufthansa 747, but I have changed this, maybe...
Plop this speed brake out a little bit here, just a tiny bit, just to ruin the airflow.
I can't switch this. If you would like additional light,
Griffin 34 Romeo, descend to 3,000 feet.
3,000 feet, Griffin 34 Romeo. $18 miles.
Griffin 34 Romeo, clear ILS, low runway to full left from Babum.
From Babum, cleared ILS, 24 left, Griffin 34 Romeo. Approach mode armed, lock star, Cat 1, glide slopes captured as well, Cat 3 single, autopilot 2 engaged. I don't know what the clacking noise is, Super Grumpy. I think I've got some weird issues with the keybind. I'm not entirely sure, mate.
Griffin 34 Romeo, reduce speed to 180 knots until 8 DME.
180 till 8, 34 Romeo.
KLM 1942, 160 until 4 DME, winds calm, runway to left, left.
Flap extension 215.
160 or greater till 4 DME and clear to land. KLM 1942.
I don't know what the binding issue is, to be fair, it's a weird noise.
EC53 Yankee Bravo Palma approach, follow identify the clear loaded 1 Papa arrival, expect ILS, low runway to full left.
180. Got that warning there, fuel below 3 tons. We can go flap 3. And we'll go gear down. It's definitely something down here, isn't it, that's clicking away. Park brakes off. We've got 180 till 8 DME. I mean, that is... oh, Chuffineck is doing that thing again where it's putting me underneath. The heck? This is really not a good time for keybinds to go crazy. What the? Oh dear.
Cabin crew, thanks for all your help. Can you take your seats for landing now, please?
Yeah, anyway, as I was saying, that looks really good, doesn't it?
Lufthansa 747, what make it for? Griffin 34 Romeo speed 160 until 40 ME, continue approach number 2.
160 till 4, continue number 2, 34 Romeo.
Hi there. The cabin is now secure for landing.
Sorry, I don't understand what are you saying. Again, you need to refile a new flight plan. You need to
right, so that's good. I'm going to look down now as we do this, just to see what's twitching.
Frankfurt, you need to refile.
Full flap.
Lufthansa for some
2,500.
Check.
I'm writing my flight plan onto this. Then we create this flight plan. Then we download it.
Lighting wise,
This flight plan. Then I
absolutely
write in the
superb.
sim, and then make it in VATSIM, and then
don't know what this guy's doing.
override and the egg. The flight plan is
Might start slowing down now.
loading in the sim.
No.
Yeah, but you don't need to load it on the sim. You need to file it on the network.
Right, that's all good.
Coming back in 10 minutes or tomorrow, but I'm finished.
Let's go to
maybe.
6 miles now, so let's start to slow the jet down. That's a full-blown conversation. Who's going to tell us what we were going to get for dinner next week? I've just made a sandwich, got cheese and tomato in it. Five knot crosswind. See how far we can get now. 4 miles to go. Yeah, flight dynamics, the physics of this aircraft, and the system depth are superb. The visuals in the cabin, that kind of stuff, the bits behind the flight deck door, that's what lets this down a little bit for the price tag. So it's a really tough one actually, because I'm so impressed. So impressed with the simulation depth, what they've done in this.
5,000 feet, QNH 1028.
But I love a wing view, so that's really important. 2 miles, we might be able to go around. Hopefully not. Very late finish. Palma looks beautiful. With this.
Entry for Romeo, wing com, runway to left, clear to land.
2 for left, clear land, 3 for Romeo. Okay, turn that off.
KLM 1942, welcome to Palma, taxi via south, link, hold short north.
500.
The FSLABS system feels bloody brilliant.
Hold short north, KLM 1942.
That's what I can't really impress enough now. The feel of this is so good. The flight model is probably the best I've actually felt in an aeroplane. Full stop in the sim. It's so precise.
Right, heading 220, Castrol 66.
100 above.
And it feels like my wing-wing HOTAS is connected seamlessly to the aeroplane, and I've not had that before.
Minimum.
Continue.
50. 30. 20. Retard. Retard.
Absolute superb feeling and flying that. First screen, 100 knots. That's Sierra 1. There's our reminder there. Go manual brakes.
Heading clear ILS, runway to left.
Get rid of the reversers.
On the present heading clear for the ILS, 24 left, Castrol 66.
And we'll vacate Sierra 2. Oh, Chuffenek's got that push button thing again, isn't it? That's not good. Where's that setting? Really not ideal because I can't really taxi.
Griffin 34 Romeo, welcome to Palma. Taxi via south, link, hold short north.
Taxi via south, link, hold short north. Go Griffin 34 Romeo.
Castrol 626, wing com, runway 24 left, clear to land.
Clear on 24 left, Castrol 626.
Is that ruddy? Oh, okay, no, I've got it back, I think. Yankee, welcome. Ah, this thing doesn't really want to steer very well on the ground. What an absolute pain in the backside. I don't know, I can't remember what button it is under for this. If anyone knows, do let me know. I've hit the button on the tiller, but do you remember in flight, Turk, we changed a setting. Goodness sake.
KLM 1942, taxi to stand number 24 via North Echo.
Controls, rudder pedals.
Taxi to gate
on.
24,
Right, now I've got to
Frank
press this
KLM,
stupid button. Let's get her moving. Can't see a chuffing thing. Cool, blimey, governor. Yeah, that button thing is a pain in the backside. Thanks for helping me, folks, there.
EC53 Yankee Bravo, speed 210 low, boom boom.
Speed 210.
And that's just a keybind issue, effectively. That's all that is. I love how that's... What did he tell me? Link... South link, hold short north. Good. So the GSX has taken us off that way, but we're not. We need to stay on south, then join link. This is the freeware system as well. 201 foot per minute though. Beautifully bang on the touchdown zone. 1.16 G. So that's all off retracted. That's all good. That's all set. AP bleed. Right, let's get on this straight line and then we're going to make it sticky, so I can just press it, turn it on, and then that's it. Which is that button. So now, that's now stuck in. Bingo. Lovely. The scenery looks amazing for freeware. It looks so good. There she is. I haven't got a stand yet, Ray. .21 knots, little dab of the brakes. Yeah, that looks mega. Compared to the Just Flight Palma, this is leaps and bounds ahead. Euroscene, freeware. Hold short north, he said. So yeah, the summary, flight dynamics and physics, this FSLABS A321 CEO just feels leaps and bounds nicer to fly. It's, for me, the wing view. This is the stuff that really lets it down. The LOD, where they've kind of, I don't know, cut corners or chose an easier option to get the thing released quicker. That's just ridiculous. Not very nice to see. So the only exterior stuff is all on the outside looking in, or if you use these views here, which are very nice, but I want to set wing views that look like this in the cockpit mode. We've got a hold short north here, so we'll just have to bring her to a slow stop.
Griffin 34 Romeo, continue taxi via north, hold short delta.
Continue north, hold short delta, Griffin 34 Romeo. Okay, delta. Okay, looks like we're going towards 10. Left and right's clear. What do you guys think? You guys have been watching the whole journey. Although I completely appreciate it's difficult impressing upon you guys how it flies. You can't. You can only see what you can see. But yeah, the system depth, the MEL, flight dynamics, the physics, the way it handles is beautiful. I can't fault any of that. It's absolutely premium. But they can do a lot of work with the cabin elements and the kind of visuals that's behind the flight deck. What they've done in here, the business end, in fairness, is amazing. A lot better than I expected, actually. I wasn't sure what to expect, having heard various things, but yeah, superb Airbus simulation this is. And genuinely, it's absolutely surprised me. Pleasantly surprised by it. And yeah, Euroscene, Palma de Mallorca is on flightsim.to. We'll have a quick little whizzle around once we've moved onto the stand and shut down. Got Delta coming up. Let's just pop out. Yeah, that's insane over there. So the Just Flight version has got like some flickery textures at that point. Don't know what stand we've got here. Connections, services. I'm so impressed with this deep simulation. That's given us stand 12, interestingly. So we've got hold short delta. That's here. Yeah, that's the one thing that's kind of disappointing. Yeah, Alibi says there for the price, it's a little bit. He said, in his words, he says it's a crime. It's not a finished article. Yeah, it doesn't have a cabin. That for me is a bit of an issue that I can't look beyond. This is the only custom view I can have, effectively, because the rest of it is this weird hollow thing, and that's my only true disappointment with this, actually, because overwhelmingly I'm so impressed by everything else that I've seen today on this one flight, and I'm genuinely looking forward to flying this again soon. Hands down, flight dynamic wise, it feels a lot more polished than the Phoenix A321, but I love the Phoenix A321 as well. Stand 20 via Delta, thanks to the ATC, Griffin 34 Romeo. Merry Christmas.
Castrol 626, taxi via north Delta, stand number 8.
North Delta and stand 8, Castrol 626.
DC53 Yankee Bravo, welcome to Palma, taxi via link, hold short north.
Taxi link, hold short north, DC53 Yankee Bravo.
Cool. 20 actually was the one we put on earlier. That's pretty cool. I need to fly to Palma more. This is so impressive for freeware. Marcus is asking, is there any panel state saving to continue where the last flight left off? Yeah, so I mentioned it loosely at the start of today's live stream actually as well. What they do with this, and it is really quite impressive, is when I park this on stand now in Palma and I shut it down, the aircraft will remember precisely the state that it was left in, precisely what the faults were, what was faulting, what was going wrong, what was in the tech log, what was in the MEL, for the deferred things, all that sort of thing, and it will remember that, so the next time I jump into X-Ray Echo, it will continue where we left off in the same level of serviceability that we park this up at now. It's so impressive. I just really want them to sort out the cabin, and if they do, then this I think would probably confidently become the best Airbus A320 series aircraft in the sim, full stop so far. Oh, the GSX integration is like nothing else. I've not experienced such smooth integration before. Oops, a little bit firm on the brakes there. Okie dokie, park brakes set. Let's get this unlocked so you can hear the music.
DC53 Yankee Bravo taxi stand number 12 via North
good.
Delta.
So let me just go to this view and then get that ready. We'll go to that. Chocks. Services. This is all GSX, but it's inside the jet, and then now automatically boarding is taking place. I'm waiting for. Oh, you know what? Have I turned the seatbelt signs off? I'm waiting to see if we get the music. Birdman, yeah, me too. We'll have to hunt down some juicy weather next time.
A very warm welcome to your destination. Please remain seated with your seatbelts securely fastened until the fasten seatbelt signs have been switched off. When it is safe to do so, please take care when opening overhead lockers.
Trying to listen for that music.
And could fall out, causing injury. You may now make and receive calls, as well as use all data services on your handheld electronic devices. Please check that you have all your personal belongings with you before leaving the aircraft. If you require any assistance, please speak to our ground colleagues who will be happy to help. For those customers who have ordered special assistance to leave the aircraft today, please remain seated until the aisle around you is clear, and our crew will
So this is the BA Euroflyer cabin pack.
On behalf of all of us on board at BA Euroflyer, I would like to thank you
it's custom.
for fly with us today, and we look forward to seeing you again very soon.
Off they go? Yeah, get off. Club usually go first. What on earth is this? I'd be furious. Okay, now I think I can. I think I can hear the music, I'm not sure. But anyway, there we go. We're going to get everyone off. You can just about. Yeah, you can just about hear the music. The cockpit door is unarmed at the moment, AJ Finale. So we can hear the cabin. But I'm trying to cut through the noise to specifically listen for the boarding music. but I can't quite hear it over the kind of the rest of the background ambience and all the rest of it. So impressive, honestly. I can't. They need to sort out the cabin, because this would just be so good and so polished. Because everything else feels quite complete by comparison to the cabin area. I mean, I love the fact now that we can see all these folks in here. Look at that. You're seeing superb scenery, buddy. To finish off, let's have a quick poke into the terminal. There she is. Is the cabin pull and twist set on volume up? Yes, it is. Yeah, we heard it on the way out, but not on the way, obviously now, just gone. For this, for the arrival. Yeah, this is really impressive for freeware. There's so much.
Frequency, Palma approaches close in monitor unit 122 decimal.
Wow, there's so much detail to this. For those of you flying with Osprey Airways, naturally, Palma de Mallorca is one of the route options. And you can get, there is a payware version of course, made by Just Fly. I've used that in the past and it is quite nice. It's got some flickery kind of textures and things on the glass windows that I'm going to go and have a look at in a moment. But this is freeware on flightsim.to. Made by Euroscene, who's in fact in our live chat as well, so welcome to you. It looks superb. Look at this. Oh wow. Yeah, this is above and beyond the payware versions. Really nice. Where's the rest of it? Let's see. The glass textures are over here. I do want to look at the tower as well. The glass looks amazing. Guessing there's yeah, there's no one in the tower. That's fine. Really nice. Apron textures look superb as well. Jeez. Amazing. So yeah, can I recommend the FSLABS A321? Do I think it's any good for $70 US or thereabouts? It's $69.99 US plus VAT. And actually, surprisingly, I thought I was going to say no today. But if I'm really honest, it's an overwhelming yes. The system simulation, the depth, the MEL, all the stuff that I've already spoken a few times about now is so good. It's genuinely really impressed me. I just need them to do the cabin so that we can enjoy those nice wing views. That's for me is a bit of a must-have feature. Otherwise, it does knock the shine off quite a bit. Unfortunately, it does ruin it a little bit for me. You want to see it in daylight, Simon? No worries. I've got a couple of minutes. Yeah, the puppy's starting to stir as well now because of the noise. I won't be too much longer. Oh wow, he's done the little tunnel thing there as well. Yeah, mighty impressive this. Look at that. See, it depends what you want really. A321 wise, I can genuinely recommend it. Now that we know as well that we've got a cabin being created that will be put into an update, then that fills me with quite a bit of confidence that the one big thing that I want the most out of this, because of how stunning this simulator looks. I mean, look at that. That feature is coming soon, so I look forward to it. I'm genuinely quite surprised by how much I've enjoyed that flight and how much detail has gone into that FSLABS A321. Hopefully you guys might be as well. But in any case, we'll drift back towards the aircraft. I'm going to have to go and sort the puppy out now because I can hear her crying away in her crate. I think I might have woke her up by still being on the stream. She's been put to bed about 20-30 minutes ago. I hope you guys all have a really fantastic Christmas. I hope you've genuinely found this stream today quite useful, quite enjoyable, honest, open, transparent, all that sort of stuff. The scenery is superb. It's on flightsim.co. And if you do fancy getting your hands on the FSLABS A321 CEO for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, then check out the links in the description for today's live stream and you'll find it there. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll either see you the other side of Christmas or potentially the other side of the new year. But either way, I hope you have a fantastic holiday / Christmas period, whatever you might be doing, wherever you are in the world. And thank you very much for watching. Big thanks to our ATC for today and all our fellow pilots flying along as well. It's been a blast. And thanks for bearing with us as well, of course, for those small Sky Broadband technical issues in the middle. But in the meantime, as always, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.